Okie dokie. These gloves I bought might be a little bit too small, but we'll find out. G'day Pink, hey Lux. Ooh. I should have gone one size up, that's alright. Too big. Look at you go. That's exciting. Let me just get this light in the right place. Sort of hard actually. So what I'll do, I'll bring you guys around to here. There we go. Perfect. That's more like it. Now we're wearing gloves today, guys. If I can get them onto my hands. Because we're doing something quite different. Quite different. We're painting a whole series of mountains. So we're going to need a glove to make sure that our sticks don't end up all over our hands. I don't think we'll need two, but we will need one. And the other thing I need to do, first off, I need to go into this. I have one little earphone, just one little earphone. Put some rhythm in my pocket. And then, right here on the side pad, there we go. Da-da-dee-da-doo. In Jock, how you doing? And thanks, Julio. Appreciate you. Now, what did I do with the wakba? There we go. So this is going to be an interesting project. It's not going to be like the normal projects we do. This will be very different. In fact, it'll be borderline abstract. It's much more like there'll be more pattern, more abstraction, more texture, more think Toss Williston landscapes, where you actually, the New Zealand artists, haven't heard them, totally okay, where we actually see things in the picture that may or may not be there, but we're going to see a lot of landscape, mountains specifically. That's what we're after here. Right. Now I called it Blue Smoky Mountains, but it's technically speaking, is it Great Smoky Mountains? Get these things. Here we go. I'm just going to lean that up. Right. Oh. No, instead I'll just drop it on the floor. That's really good for iPads. I recommend that. One of the best things you could do for it. Hey Bernie and Linique, Ivan, Kayla. Welcome on back. We're back in the studio, which is fun. It's been a while since we've been in the studio, but these projects I've been doing have been certainly outdoor projects. Hey Angel. And so now that we're doing a project which for the first time, aside from the paint we make for ourselves, for the first time we've got paint which doesn't need a ventilated space. Now we're going to trial it. It's literally just linseed oil, wax, so almost a caustic painting, but it's oil painting. Wax, linseed oil, and pigment. Everything's written right here on it. Now the reason why this dries, the wax melts because of the friction heating up the wax, causing heat. And then once I stop that, it leaves behind the wax which solidifies, the oil which oxidizes and dries off, leaving the pigment as a film on the surface. That's the plan. It may fail. I've done small trials with this, but nothing big. But I do know it does have a habit of getting just a wee bit messy every now and again. But the immediacy of this paint is the beauty of it. So I'll show you up close in just a second. It'll look like a crayon. See that? That is actually concentrated oil paint. Very, very pigment strong. Very, very thick. Think refrigerated butter. The blocks that you get. That's pretty much exactly what this pigment is. Hello, Steve. You come just in time to see something quite original. So we're going to find how this goes, but one really cool thing about this, and I'll show you, is that when we paint with it, it's immediate, colour on canvas, no chill. One great thing that this gives you, as opposed to regular paint, is that the bridge of the brush between you and the canvas can get taken out of the artwork altogether. You can just paint direct with these and your fingers. In fact, they encourage it. Now I'm going to use some brushes, because I love brush work on a painting, but now it's my choice rather than a necessity that I'm trying to bring into the work, which I like. All right. Just putting on my Shopify playlist in my ear. Okay. Now, first off, in this picture, we're going to add the Smokey Mountains. So, starting on this side, and moving right to left. Watch how powerful this is. It's so powerful, it's almost to be feared. And you see as I put on more, how it starts to actually melt. It's the heat generated from the friction that I was talking about. Beautiful. Dirty. This is an incredibly fun thing. And instead of it being like basic lines that go down, what if you make a mistake, hee hee? Well, first off, hee hee, we'd say your name, we'd laugh about it. But if you make a mistake, it's all ruined, and you should give up on art forever and never come back to it. Or you can own it, cover it up, move on, ignore it. All these things are choices you've got. All as good as the next one. And like I say, we're going to go right over the edges. Les, good to have you on board, mate. We've just got a new follower jump on in. Les is like, oh, I hate the artwork, but he talks a lot of sense. Now, the one catch about these, and this might put you off a birdie, is they are incredibly expensive. If you want oil paint mixed with wax, you better be prepared to pay. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll still enjoy it. And the only reason why I pay that high ticket is because I believe that this is capable of doing something that no other paint we've played with yet has been even close to perceiving. Raw, beautiful, wild colour, strong, pigmented in a way we haven't had ever before, but completely clean. When I say clean, I mean the wax, the linseed oil, and the pigment. No heavy metals, no solvents, no nothing. So when you see it on your wall in beautiful, powerful, pounding colour, You know that everything about it is beautiful, even the ingredients it's made from. And I love that. Seems like it will run out quickly. Yeah, it will. It will. But I tell you what, Hee, I will pay any price, and I mean that, any price. Whether it's time, effort, and that's what you use a lot of when you make tempera paint, or cost, doesn't matter. When it comes to art materials, figure out what you need and make it happen. Because there's enough barriers from a mental standpoint before you start factoring in means. And I'm not saying we can all run out there and start making Jeff Koons pieces, these giant, crazy things, giant, metallic and colourful. Huge cost comes in with that. But there are small things we can do. We can skip a night out on a Saturday to buy some slightly more expensive, more pigmented paint. Whatever it is, we can do these things. There we go. How quickly will one tube go? I'll tell you what, we'll use this one down to about a quarter. When it gets to a quarter gone, I'll tell you. But also bear in mind, this is oil paint, so this won't dry for a very, very long time. And because of that, because it won't dry for such a long period of time, we'll pause there, but that's about a sixth gone. It's a sixth of the paint now on the surface, but since it doesn't dry quickly, I want you to imagine what's on there will actually be there in the end result. Instead of that intensive layering we've done in the past of transparent layers, every single colour will be bold and opaque, and that's going to be part of the beauty in it. Now, one thing that I like to do, that I've never heard anyone else say is a good idea, but trust me, I think it's a fantastic idea. If you're wearing gloves, don't just think you're wearing gloves and let paint get all over them. Wipe the paint off the glove. It doesn't stick to the glove that well. You can see that? I can actually wipe my glove completely clean, and that'll stop everything from getting dirty. Because just because it's not on your hand doesn't mean you won't touch other things in the room and make the whole thing into a big mess. Right, next colour. We're going to be using ultramarine blue pale. Pale blue ultramarine. That's the plan. Can you still use a brush? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Now, I'm not going to start with. I'm just going to get that raw colour onto the surface. But we will. We will. And I think we're going to need a second glove. Libby. I'm not in Hamilton. Should I be? There we go. What was the tube I was using? Spill it off it. There we go. Come to me. It's making life tough for me. It's like, no, don't use me. There we go. Just need a wee bit of a punch. This is going to be quite white. A lot of the time people leave white until they're more towards the end. I love opening with it. You get your first sign of how these colours look when it mixes. Beautiful. And I've got one wild card tube, which I haven't shown you guys yet. Jonty, welcome on in. One wild card tube I haven't shown you yet, which is a clear tube. Neutral white, not that one, this one. It's called a blending stick. So it's the wax and the oil without the pigment. And the reason why that's beautiful is I can use that to smear, merge, blend colours as we see fit. There we go. What? To the other side. There we go. We're using it on the side now. That's what I want. There we go. Beautiful. It's amazing how fast it melts under that pressure. All right. Let's go for a little bit of change. Get ready for this. Here we go. So you have to do a couple of strokes in the same spot to get started. Then once it's going, it's away. Almost the consistency of lipstick. Make it look like it's sun-kissed. fills. Lost the iPad. There we go. Now here's the one colour I started to experiment with. In fact, it wants to go down there a little bit behind the iPad, but we won't do it. Just stick to the top parts for now. The only question I would ask myself is, do I want to go the whole way underneath and over the top of the canvas? And I think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to leave that actually just raw white. So then you can see, from an observer point of view, what was actually, what the canvas was, which is fine cotton. Wow. I'm going to use up all of this blue. Who can see mountains? The coolest thing about this stuff is that it'll stay in this unlocked, wet state semi-permanently, you know, for 2 to 3 weeks. And so it'll take a couple of months to dry, but before it dries, it's open, workable, changeable, which previously was only available for very, very toxic paints with solvents. So this opportunity, this is utterly unique. Something precious, something to be valued. The workability of something. Such a long period. I wonder if, I think I'll leave this area up here as negative space to give some reprieve from the amount of mountains that we plan to explore. And maybe a little bit of negative space down here. Brian? Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Brian. I've been there once, stayed at the in the national park there. And I remember when we left the national park, we went through some back roads with some houses there with some locals in them that it was just incredible. It was a whole nother way of life. So, really intriguing, especially for someone who comes all the way from New Zealand. To get to see that. We never get to see that. White? White. So this isn't perfect white, this is neutral white. Surrounded by clouds in the morning. It's a good way of saying it. There we go. Whoop, almost put it there. over the edges. I should say as well, guys, this is on a canvas. So normally we're working on masonite board, but I thought I'd make an exception. Hey, Pepe. So what you reckon? Fair? There we go. A little bit of a cleanup. Is that neutral paint? Or an underpainting? No. So, I just want to go raw, straight on the canvas. Get you, Brian. It's been gessoed, so it's been prepped for painting. Oh, when I make the paint. Yeah, that's for egg tempera. We'll do more of that, because that elevates the process. In terms of, you feel more personally engaged with what you're making when it's part of the picture. Part of the whole thing. Make your own paint. Control the product. Make it as strong, as weak, as fluid, as solid as you like. Hey Connie, good acrylic to use. If you're getting started, something like Atlia is totally fine. If you're a bit more experienced and want to step up a little bit, but not all the way to the top, something like Liquitex is great. Liquitex is probably actually, you can start and stop at Liquitex. And the reason why I like Liquitex is because I've got a whole bunch of mediums you can use Liquitex this, Liquitex that, which you know will work with the paint. You don't have to stick the same medium with the same paint, but it's nice to do so. And the reason why I encourage you to do so is because sometimes mixing and matching can have this awkward, sometimes less than desirable effect. Not often, but sometimes. And thanks, Art Scott, I appreciate you. Cheers, Pepe. All right. The old same problem, they like to get stuck. Come on. Doesn't want to come out, eh? You're welcome, Connie. But Connie, basically the rule is most paints are priced fairly. Most paint's pretty reasonable. The one thing you'll run into is the cheaper the paint, the lower the amount of pigment in it, and the more just fillers, you know? Fillers can be anything. Stuff to fill in the gap between real, strong, saturated paint and the equivalent of just nothing. So, usually if you see paint costs more and you're wondering why, it's the amount of that raw pigment that's in it. Pigment's expensive. It doesn't want to give me this color, eh? It's pretty determined not to. It's like, don't use malachite brick green. Don't see why not to. Doesn't want to come out. Need some tweezers for that one. Yeah, if you want coverage of strong pigment, there's literally no negotiation between good quality paint and regular paint. You've just got to get the best if you want that powerful pigmentation. You've never painted and not doing too bad. Alright? I like it. I like it. Yeah. Good spotting. There is a chunk on my phone. Voila. Whew. There's a glob glob right in the middle of the phone. It's pretty funny. Wow. G'day Jake, how you doing? We're doing something a little bit unique today, Jack. Working with some strong wax oil sticks. I'm good. I'm working with something, it's a fairly unique medium. It's new to use, but kind of fun. Kind of fun. Tips and tricks for acrylic. Is that white, or are my eyes misleading me? It is white. All up through here. Well, this is more of like a salmon, to be fair. More of a salmon. No, I'm just in the background. Fill you in. Oh, so this here, you need about the paint. So this here is a wax, oil, and pigment. So it'll dry like oil paint with that same level of saturation, but it's got wax in it. So when I rub it on there, it turns into liquid, whereas it's usually in the stick form, like a crayon. It's less like a crayon and more like I was saying, refrigerated butter. It's a better way of thinking about it. Alright. Down here low. There we go. Whew. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Mate. All right. What's going to be the next colour? Fall fine. What's the next colour going to be? I really want to use that blue, but it's determined not to let me use the blue, which is wild. So let's have a crack at it with phthalo blue. Rush for this next part. Somebody wants to ask could I spare some change for gas. I need to get myself away from this play chaos. I said, yeah, what a concept. I could use a little fuel myself. I'll use a little change. Well, if it don't stop coming and it don't stop coming, back to the woods and I hit the ground running. Doesn't make sense like a big fall pond. Your brain gets small, but your head gets big. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never shine if you don't glow. Ow! You never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get your show on, get paid. Hey now, you're a rock star. Don't, bounce, bounce, wow, down, bounce. You don't know Smash Mouth? Too young to be here. Cheers, Connie. Bow, bow, bow. Cool place where the sand gets colder. You buckled up now, wait till you get older. Medium man dipper. Judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The answer is skates. Getting pretty thin. Water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world's on fire. How about yours? And that's the way I like it, and I never get bored. Okay, where else are we going to go? Just through here a little bit. We are wearing gloves. Much more messy with the paint. Much more messy with the paint. Any tips for a beginner with acrylic painting? Okay. What I would say, obviously, always remember the main point of doing this is to have fun. And no one's going to want to buy a piece of artwork that they thought the artist was miserable making. And the second thing, if you want hard skills, don't just beat yourself up in front of a canvas. Instead, go to YouTube and watch a lot of how-to videos, how to do eyes, how to do leads, how to do gradients, how to mix colors. Don't just watch them back to back, you'll exhaust yourself. Just 20 minutes. You don't even need to be painting at the same time. Your brain will learn it. 20 minutes of that a day, and slowly you'll start picking up these key skills that you want to produce art the way you want. Oh, that's fun. Same colour as puppets and Nuku, eh? Cheers, Greg. Yeah, 100%. A lot of people, the biggest battle they face, artists block all the rest of it, is they start resenting their craft. And what they resent about it is the fact that there's a kid inside them that says, hey, we used to find this fun. Why do you hate it so much? And it's very, very hard to figuratively look yourself in the mirror and figure out why suddenly your craft has gone from something that you dreamed about doing in school instead of math and English, and it's become the thing that you dread more than anything else in the world. Why is it like that? It's quite tough to find out. That's where artist block can come from. Cheers, Craig. You just hear a lot of Te there in New Zealand. So you get fairly used to the rolling of the R's. Like instead of saying nu, you say ngoo, ngoo. So in the haka we go kaparo rather than saying there's inga ngoo day, inga ngoo a. A lot of people say nu a. and it's not, it's moo. Subtle but fairly important difference. You want to make the haka intimidating. Imagine nothing would be less intimidating or disrespectful in a given instance than butchering the pronunciation of the words in celebration or your war dance. I bet. J. Smith? No, it's not. We're playing around with some new medium. And creating something new. Trying to capture those beautiful, beautiful Smoky Mountains. But it's not just the Smoky Mountains. We always see the Smoky Mountains as a thin strip. With this artwork, we're turning that upon its head. We're trying to actually capture this huge expanse as if it just heads off infinitely into the distance. Alright team, I have got a dinner date I'm trying to dash off to, so I'm going to love you and leave you, and hopefully you don't miss me too much. But hey Sam, hey Sky, and cheers, Craig. I think she has, actually. Wildcard. Now, removing gloves. Remove the first one, but the trick is, you curl the first one up in your hand after it's been turned inside out. Get these 3 fingers, slide them inside the glove of the second hand, glove there, and it's all inverted in there. And they'll pack it all together. Cheers, Santiago. Cheers, J. Smith. Alright, hands are free. Time to go out there into the big bad world. But we've made a good start there. We've got the correct colours. It's definitely wild and woolly at this stage, but in all the best of ways. I like how some areas get quite washy, and some areas are quite strong and jagged. So, anyway, we'll just keep adding mountains to it, and hopefully, layer after layer, stroke after stroke, mountains appear, and we get this idea of this giant expanse. So the key things we're after for this image, before I go, we're after volume, we're after expansiveness, so expansive, volume, and epic. So it wants to really give you a feeling of just this huge, huge, huge environment with an artistic touch to it, but huge, expansive, voluminous. Is voluminous a word? It's a word now. That's what we're after. Alright guys, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Steve, this one will be fun. Will be incredibly fun. Thick texture. But anyway, bye guys. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's the thing. Cheers, Santiago.